What's up, junkies? I know you're waiting to see a video about us doing the inventory, but first thing, you know, we had Bluntman, who's the cameraman, and I have one thing to tell him. You're fired. You're fucking fired.
You got allergies, man.
You're not allowed to be the cameraman anymore, guys.
Allergies.
First off, if you're listening to the video, I'm sorry. It sounds like Darth Vader is filming the video. Yeah, right. Give me the finger. And then he's cutting my head off. He's warming half of me, this and that. He's moving the camera all around in some spots. Now he's saying I was trying to be nice. I didn't want to get your bald head in. I didn't want to get your stomach in. I think he just wasn't paying attention. So I apologize for the video. Please forgive us. Just to let you know, Bluntman will not be using the camera anymore.
See, I'm drinking seltzer water.
The seltzer water, yeah. After you had a whole bottle of Henny last night.
No,
anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Sorry about the what's that?
Seltzer plus cold and sinus.
Cold and sinus. It's 60 degrees out, cold and sinus. Any excuse, any excuse. He's one of those. Anyhow, folks, see you later. Enjoy the rest of the video, and just keep in mind, he won't be the cameraman anymore. I promise. What's up, junkies?
Hi.
How's everybody doing today? Hey, listen, the son of a bitch saying hi. You know, he was just telling me, he goes, look, I'm starting to get gray. He goes, I can't hang out with you, I'm starting to get gray.
She starts to rub off.
You and Little Junkie made this gray.
No.
A year ago, I was...
No. Try some. You know.
Anyhow, junkies, what's going on, man? Everybody good? Listen, you know, it's not fun and games all the time, so today we're actually going to do some work. A lot of people have been asking about how we inventory cars or how we decide what we're going to keep, what we're not going to keep. So what we're going to do today, instead of any burnouts or blowing stuff up, I'm going to show you how we inventory a car. We're going to go from the beginning to the end of the car. We're going to use Bluntman here as the cameraman. Think you can handle being a cameraman?
Maybe.
You sure?
I don't know. I may go to sleep or two.
Well, anyhow, what we're going to do is I'm going to inventory a car. We just got in a 2007 Camry. We're going to do a walk around, and we'll show you how we inventory the parts, put them in the computer, and, you know, how we go ahead and sell them. But let's show you how we do it. So here's what we have. It's a 2007 Toyota Camry, 4-cylinder gas, non-hybrid vehicle. This came from a shop up the block. A customer brought the car in, non-running. Turned out the flywheel is no good, and the customer didn't want to go through the expense of changing the flywheel. They've had the car for a while, so they decided to scrap it out. So we bought it from the shop, pushed it in. You know, pretty decent car. I mean, it's a repaint. It's all here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get the inventory paperwork. We're going to come out and show you how we do it. Show you how we scale the parts. Look at it, check it out, look on the numbers. Here's what we do. When we get a car in, the first thing we do is the title. We have to match the title to the VIN number of the car, make sure it's correct. In the computer in the office, we take that title and we convert it to a VIN number in our computer and make a stock number. Here's the stock number. Stock numbers on all the parts, as you can see. I don't know about other states, but in New York, when the police department comes in or DMV comes in, or even for our own, you know, for inventory, when you want to find it quick on the shelf, every part has to have a number on it in case the police department comes in, or again, motor vehicles, and they take any random part off the shelf. We got to be able to match the paperwork to the car. So that's why the stock number's on it. This stock number is going to be to this VIN number and this VIN number only. Once we do that, we then generate a worksheet. Now, some guys use laptops. I still use paper. Basically, we put the VIN number in and it prints out everything for this car. So this is an 07 Camry, and in here now it gives me all the different options and all the parts and whatnot. Now, I know some of you are complaining, saying, wait, junk man, that's a waste. Well, this paper gets used 3 times. It only prints on one side. So when I'm done with this worksheet, we flip it over and we print another worksheet out with it. Then after that, it goes in a pile and it becomes packing for when we ship parts out. Right, Blunt?
Yep.
Look, here's my pen. So basically what we do is we do a quick walk around the car when it comes in. When it first came in, we checked the mileage. This car had 159,000 miles. We, got the production date down and all that's in the computer. Now we inventory the car. Now the inventory starts off with, I was obviously on my desk, I scribbled some notes. It starts off with a front end assembly, which is complete nose. Basically, I'm gonna wait for the plane to go. Screw it, you hear me. A car this old, nobody really puts a complete nose in, so I won't put a complete nose in this vehicle. However though, if you look, you can see, it offers options. So unlike years ago where every manufacturer only had like 5 cars and each car had like 1 model or 2 sub models, these cars today have 10 models, 15 models. The Camry here, Camry's got a hybrid. Then when you go to the nose, it's with fog lights, without fog lights, a C model, SE model, XLE model, with fog lights, without fog lights. So this is why it's important to have an interchange system today. We happen to use the Hollander interchange system, and it's important because there's just so many options for cars. Believe me, you go mad. So basically what we'll do is we'll walk over to the car, and like I said, we're not going to put the nose in because we don't put the front ends in on these older vehicles. First part that comes up is the grille, and it offers me the hybrid model, which it's not, or then the CE, LE, SE, or the XLE model. This happens to be an SC model. Nope, it's not an SC model because it doesn't have mesh. So it's actually an LE model. So what I'll go ahead and I'll do is I'll circle that. We already checked it out. I got my little notes, which is another reason I don't like to use a tablet or an iPad, because I like to scribble my little shorthand notes that we put in the computer. So we got that. Then we're going to do the bumper. Now, this bumper happens to be missing paint, so I can tell that this bumper is an aftermarket bumper. So this isn't a factory bumper, so we'll put it in our notes, aftermarket. As a matter of fact, it's also been repainted. If you see the overspray here, the parts will be repainted. So we'll also list that in the notes. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked on carpart.com or some of the search sites. Sometimes you'll see a discrepancy in parts, or you'll see codes like NIQ or AFMT for aftermarket. NIQ stands for not insurance quality. A lot of the pro shops don't want repaint fenders, so we have to have that in the notes. So when adjusters are looking, we'll mark down repaint. Another thing we check for when we're doing fenders is whether they're aftermarket or not. Like the bumper here is aftermarket, so it'll be cheaper than a factory bumper. These fenders happen to have the Toyota emblems and the Toyota mark, so this is a factory fender, not made in Taiwan. Even though it's still cheap, it's a factory fender, and people like to use factory stuff as opposed to aftermarket. Then some people just don't care. We'll do the same thing with the hood, which is obviously factory. Now with the headlight, again, if you look a lot of times, you see a discrepancy in parts and prices. Like this headlight, like all the other plastic headlights, must have been faded at one time, and they sprayed it with the clear coat, which you can see the clear coat is peeling off. So in options, we'll have to mark down that this was clear coat and it needs to be resealed or redone. Or a person can use this just like it is if they don't really care. So this also affects the cost, the price of the part. Now, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but you guys who really like cars and people that are interested in working in the junkyard, see if you can get a job and do the inventory. The inventory, first off, once the car gets to the yard, is the most important part of the salvage yard. Now, I know there's gonna be counter guys who are yelling, no, we sell the parts, it's more important. The first important part is buying the cars, getting your inventory. You make money when you buy things. You don't make money after it. If you overpay for a car, you overpay for a car. So it's the boss or the buyer's job to get the cars at the right price. That's the most important. But once the car gets to the yard, it's on the inventory guy to do everything properly. So if the inventory guy does his job properly, puts all the parts in properly, it makes the counter guy's job much, much easier. And if you're interested in cars and you want to learn more about cars and you're younger, the great thing about doing inventory is you get to look at all the cars. And as you do these worksheets, you start to see the different options. So, you see guys on car sites talking about, oh, this is that option, this is the BBY option, that's the GT option. When you start doing the worksheets over time, you start to learn and notice all the different things about a car. You notice things that have been changed. You start to know the options. You'll be in the street and say, oh, that, like a newer Mercedes, oh, it's got those wheels because it's got the special HID headlight option that came as a package, so on and such. But if you have the opportunity to get a job at a junkyard, or you'd like to, and you really want to learn about cars, they're not going to let you do it right away, but I would learn to do the inventory and become the inventory man, because this is where you learn the most about cars. This is where you'll be able to tell the difference in motors, trannies, different trim types, and stuff like that.
Get over here!
Get over here! Get over here! Now again, this car happens to be a repaint, so when I check the doors, now this worksheet starts at the front, works its way to the back, and then we inventory motor, tranny, and interior parts. These doors, again, were repainted. Why does that matter? It's a perfect door, it's clean, but when a body shop gets it, they have to rechange it because their car's not blue and they got to paint it red, or they got to paint it green. They got to sand it down, and sometimes the paint job beforehand, it's got some body work, some Bondo in it, and most shops don't want repaint doors because they're afraid of what they're going to find underneath. Again, this is New York. A lot of shops really don't care, but there are a lot of great shops and they do worry about what they're doing, and they do have pride in their work, so they won't use that. So here's something. Show them the rims, Blunt.
See if you know.
What's wrong with that? Can anybody figure that out? It's a Toyota Camry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, get back here. Now, for those uninitiated, they don't realize, but for us who look at cars all day long and the car guys will know those happen to be Honda Accord wheels. So someone took Honda Accord wheels and put them on here. But if you don't know, you don't know. You're going to walk by and see the Toyota emblems and say, oh, Toyota wheels. But they're not. They're Honda wheels. So these wheels won't actually get inventoried under a Toyota Camry. They'll be inventoried. I'd have to check the computer to see what year these rims came on. So it's like an 09 or 2010 Honda Accord. They'll be inventoried under Honda Accord. Not with this stock number, obviously, because this stock number comes back to the Toyota Camry. So pretty much, that's what we do. We walk around the car, we circle the parts, and again, the reason for the worksheet is dumb questions. Japanese built, North American built. When you get down later on, it's going to ask questions like federal emissions, California emissions. Years ago, like I said in previous videos, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, there was every manufacturer had 5 cars, and almost all the mechanical parts fit. There was no real submodels, unless it was a Cadillac. You had the Fleetwood, and you had the Brougham, which had a little nicer interior, but the stuff all fit. Nowadays, cars change every 2 years, and each model has 10 submodels. That's why it's important to have this kind of inventory. So basically, I'm kind of rushing through this, guys, because we started this video about 8 hours ago, and we got busy, and now I'm just getting back to finishing it off. Basically, once we do all of this, we'll go into the office, we'll read my notes, we'll enter these parts into the computer. With the notes and the options, we'll price the parts out based on whether they're factory or aftermarket, or if they're damaged or a repaint, and go from there. And then, you know, hopefully people look and call up and want to buy the parts. But that's what we do. Now, when we're done doing the inventory, the tires and rims come off, we drain the gas, and we put it up on the shelf for a little while till we get ready to dismantle it. You know, a lot of guys say, wow, cars break down for 10 times the value in parts. You don't sell everything. You don't sell everything, guys. Anybody that's been to those U-Pullet yards, or those yards in Carolina, or out in California where they have 100, 200 acres, there's cars sitting there for 30, 40 years just rotting away. I wish we sold everything, but this car, after the doors, motor, tranny, the nose parts come off, and some miscellaneous, is probably going to get thrown out. It's a little too old to sell the roof. No one's really going to repair a quarter panel on one of these cars, so that stuff will get thrown out. The electronics, I mean, we'll take out, but there's just so many of them. We'll inventory those numbers after we get the parts out, put the right part number on it. And then if we have anything left, we try to make a fun video and drop things on it and break it. Who knows? Right, Blunt? Got anything to say, Blunt?
I don't know. Let's hurry up and get this Camry up in the air.
Well, not yet. Like here, you know, the lights, these lights are smoke, but they're not factory smoke. Somebody went ahead and put You know, they sprayed them, so that ruins the value of it. It's got a spoiler that somebody put on, although it looks like it's a factory Toyota spoiler. It's not from this car. Now, you guys that have aftermarket stuff, or people that want to sell cars, they go, oh, I've got a coilover springs, I got this, I got that. Parts are more valuable factory and OEM to a salvage yard than a car loaded with aftermarket parts. Unless, of course, we're going to rebuild it and play with it later on. That's about it. You know, like I said, get the car comes in, inventory it, put it in the computer, sell the parts, scrap it out. That about it, Paul? That sounds about right?
About right.
But like I said, though, you guys who like cars or interested in cars or even working in the junkyard, listen, working in the junkyard isn't bad. There's plenty of huge companies out there, LKQ. You got the PRP groups. Those are great yards to work in. You can learn cars. Go there, you'll make a great salary. You'll learn the cars. A couple of years of doing worksheets and doing the inventory on cars, you'll see a car in the street, you'll say, oh, those are the wrong rims. Oh, he changed the fenders. Oh, he changed the lights. Let me tell you something. Inventory junk guys are the worst enemy of these posers. All these guys with these fake cars, the fake M3s and fake AMGs and all this other nonsense stuff. They hate you when you're at a show and you look and go, those aren't the right rims. That's not the right fender. Those are the wrong seats. They're going to hate you. But this is the best way to learn it. You do it every day. A couple of years, you know almost everything there is. Almost. I'm doing it 30 years. And each day I learn more and more about less and less. This time next week, Blunt says I'm going to know nothing at all. Anyhow, guys, there it is, junkies. Pretty much how we do it. I know not as detailed as you might have liked. Unfortunately, like I said, we started this video at 9 o'clock this morning. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'm getting tired. But that's essentially it. So I hope it gave you a little insight to what we do. So like, comment, subscribe. Blunt.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Peace.
Junkman's Paradise.
We're out.